there. In this video, we're going to take just about 5 or 10 minutes to talk about what are the UC Personal Insight questions. So by the end of this video, you should be able to identify and explain the required contents of the UC Personal Insight questions. You should be ready to start thinking about what these essays should look like and how can you write some successful UC Personal Insight question responses. So let's talk a little bit about what are the UC Personal Insight questions. This is a series of essay prompts that are used to apply to the 9 universities within the University of California system. So this means that whether you're interested in UCLA, UC Berkeley, San Diego, Davis, Santa Barbara, gosh, okay, I cannot list all of them, but you get the point. You can write the same set of essays and submit to as many of the UC schools as you would wish. So in that regard, it's kind of similar to Common App, where you write your personal insight question responses and you can apply to multiple universities with the same content. The difference is, for Common App, you write one long essay, approximately 650 words. For the UC Personal Insight questions, there are a total of 8. You have to respond to 4, but they're shorter responses, 250 to 350 words each. And it's important to note that all of these questions are equal. They're given equal ranking by the admissions officers, so there's no advantage or disadvantage to choosing certain questions over others, other than which questions are you best and most convincingly able to answer. And so we're going to go take a look at those 8 questions, and as you're thinking about what you're going to write this unit, I want you to think about which of these questions can you answer best, most interestingly, most convincingly. Think about what unique personal stories you have that you could use in response to these questions. So here are our 8 questions. Question 1, describe an example of your leadership experience in which you have positively influenced others, helped resolve disputes, or contributed to group efforts over time. So a quick story about you as a leader and making a difference, doing something positive in that position. 2, it says every person has a creative side and it can be expressed in many ways. Problem solving, original and innovative thinking, and artistically, to name just a few. Describe how you express your creative side. A lot of people immediately think about the arts, they think about drawing, they think about music, they think about dance. There are many other ways to represent creativity. You'll see a great, more technical expression of creativity in one of the sample essays that I've included for this unit. So what do you do to create? Question number 3, what would you say is your greatest talent or skill? How have you developed and demonstrated that talent over time? If you have a talent or skill, especially one that is particularly unique, boys, I'm sorry to say, basketball is not a very unique talent or skill. But some of you have very unique, very interesting talents or skills that not a lot of other students could write about. Those especially, I would encourage you to think about answering this question. How have you developed and demonstrated that talent over time? Question number 4, how have you taken advantage of a significant educational opportunity or worked to overcome an educational barrier you have faced? So this is all about putting your education to work. So either you've been given an opportunity and you took advantage of it and you made the most of it, or you had a struggle and you've worked to overcome that struggle in education. Question number 5 says, describe the most significant challenge you have faced and the steps you have taken to overcome this challenge. How has this challenge affected your academic achievement? So this is not necessarily talking about academic barriers or opportunities or challenges. This is a challenge in life. So, for example, students who face socioeconomic barriers, students who have health challenges, students who have been through some sort of traumatic event, many of them write very successful answers to essay number 5. And sometimes your significant challenge doesn't have to be something huge and life-changing. It can be something smaller. It's all about how you write this answer, really. Number 6, think about an academic subject that inspires you. Describe how you have furthered this interest inside or outside of the classroom. Some of you have a specific academic interest, whether those are students who write for pleasure, whether those are students who study advanced mathematics outside of school, economics, health sciences, and you're at not just in the classroom, but you're extending your knowledge outside of school. This might be an essay you want to think about writing. Number 7, what have you done to make your school or community a better place? Many of you are involved in different charity organizations, different community service organizations. Some of you have stood up and taken a stand for difficult ideas here at TCIS even. You might want to write about that. And number 8 is kind of the wild card question. Beyond what has already been shared in your application, what do you believe makes you a strong candidate for admissions to the University of California? This is kind of the question that's saying, this is your open invitation to show off why the university should pick you. And this one really, it is a wild card. You can do whatever you want with it as long as it is convincing. I should go to UC, pick me, pick me. So let's talk about the content of your essay. This is very much like a mini Common App. You need to answer the question completely. Most of these questions have 2 or 3 sub-questions embedded. Make sure you hit all of the points. Your essay should tell a story. Don't just say, I'm smart because I this. We want story, we want examples, we want narrative, we want description. We want you to show us, not just tell us who you are and why the university should pick you. We do want to begin with an engaging hook. I love the very first essay, the sample response to UC question number 1 in the sample folder, because I think it is a great, just lovely hook. You read the first sentence and you're like, I need more. Very much like the I Shot My Brother essay that we read when we were looking at Common App. You read that first sentence, you're like, what? I need more. That's what you're going to try to do in your own essays. And you need a reflective conclusion. A sentence or 2 at the end. This is going to usually be the last question in the prompt, talking about what have you learned, how have you grown, how have you furthered, how have you demonstrated. Tie it back to you growing, you becoming a better person, or you being more prepared for university. As far as the context, I tell you the same thing every time. Every university application is a commercial. This is selling you to the university. Why should they pick you? Why are you the best? Be sure that your story fits the prompt. Don't tell me a story about, oh, I had to work so hard to overcome this, in an essay that's all about being a leader or being interested in something academically. Make sure that your response really does fit the question. And do be sure that the stories that you're telling, make sure that you're selling you, the character, the avatar that you want to portray to the university. Not everything about each of us is positive, and so we have to be really careful about how we represent ourselves in this application process. As far as the composition requirements, not a 5-paragraph essay. Do not give me intro, body, conclusion. Do not format your paragraphs, topic, sentence, evidence, explanation. We are not here for that. This is a story. So use narrative storytelling format. There should be a beginning, a middle, and an end. As much as possible, try to show your reader, not tell them how the story unfolds. who you are, what kind of a person you are, how you are feeling. Use descriptive language to really engage the reader in your story. So let's check in. Can you do all of the things? Are you comfortable with the required content? What goes in this essay? Are you comfortable with the context? What are we trying to achieve with this essay? And are you comfortable with the composition? The nitty-gritty, how are we writing this? If you're good with all of those things, then you are ready to move on to the next step. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your unit overview hyperdoc, and you are going to work either alone or with a partner to choose one or more of those sample essays, and you're going to follow the annotation instructions to highlight and annotate that document so that I can see that you've read through at least one of these essays and you understand what it needs to include and how it needs to be composed. That's all for this video. Bye, guys.